following is a Cox 11 sports presentation.
After losing two of last season's best players to graduation, Coach Blaine Taylor's squad will have to depend on the two returning starters, Nick Wright and Dante Hill. Today, the Monarchs take on the Roadrunners of the University of Texas San Antonio, here on the final day of the Liberty Tax Classic. It's ODU basketball, right here, right now.
Live from the Ted Constant Convocation Center in Norfolk, Virginia, college basketball is back as the UTSA Roadrunners take on the Old Dominion University Monarchs. And on this Veterans Day, to all the men and women of the U.S. military, a heartfelt thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Hi, everybody. Ted Alexander, Charlie Willem. Charlie, basketball is back in a big way here in Norfolk. 3 games in 3 days for all teams involved.
Well, this is what these players have been waiting for since last March. The coaches will find out a lot in 3 days. They're going to find out what they got to work on the rest of the season. But everybody's excited. We're looking forward to a good game tonight.
For the Monarchs and the Roadrunners, lots of new faces, beginning with Old Dominion. 7 new guys on the roster, including the largest new face, 6'9" Deshaun Painter, a transfer from NC State.
Well, Deshaun Painter will bring experience to this Monarch basketball front line this year. They've lost some good players in there. He's extremely skilled offensively. He can run the floor very well, and he will rebound for him. He'll be a big addition to Old Dominion this year.
Keenan Palmore is a freshman point guard from Georgia, getting it done at both ends of the court.
Well, Palmore does everything you want a point guard to do. He handles, passes, and shoots, but what he does best is makes his teammates better, and that's what this crowd can look forward to today.
That's the Old Dominion side of the ledger. What about UTSA? 9 new faces for Brooks Thompson's Roadrunners, including 5'9" Michael Hale III. Not a new face, but a face that keeps him rolling.
Well, Michael Hale is 5'9", weighs 150 pounds. His heart's as big as his chest is. This crowd will have a fun time watching this young man because he does everything for this basketball team.
A former JUCO All-American, Michael Hale, getting it done for the Roadrunners. He'll need to today. Both teams 1-1. All teams in the Liberty Tax Classic are 1-1. Both played lousily on Friday and much better yesterday.
Well, both these teams have so many new players. It's going to take a while for them to get some chemistry. They played bad the first night. They played better last night. I expect them both to play better tonight.
All right, 1 bad game, 1 good game. A 3rd game coming up. It's Old Dominion versus UTSA. Monarchs and Roadrunners from Norfolk. We'll get back to the action in a moment.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilder, head football coach at ODU. On and off the field, life's moving fast, and I can't afford to miss a minute. Poor vision was holding me back from the things I love. So, I decided to make a change. Thanks to Dr. Scoper, the physicians, and the entire staff at Virginia Eye Consultants, I now have perfect vision and couldn't be happier.
Virginia Eye Consultants, leaders in world-class specialty eye care, and a proud sponsor of ODU football and Coach Wilder's New Vision.
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
We take the complexity out of the process and give you an answer quickly.
I'm honored to have helped so many military families in achieving their dream of home ownership.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage lender.
Today's game is presented by the following Team Monarch partners. Pepsi, the official soft drink of ODU basketball. Pepsi, refresh everything. Cox Communications. Cox, your friend in the digital age. And by the Virginia Lottery. The Virginia Lottery, we're game. Today's game is also presented by Liberty Tax Service. Liberty Tax Service, making a difference in the tax preparation industry.
And we welcome you back to the Ted Constant Convocation Center in Norfolk. UTSA and Old Dominion getting set to tip off. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for this afternoon's game. For the Monarchs, they're led by Blaine Taylor.
Blaine Taylor, what a job he's done here. He's been to 8 straight postseasons. He's the all-time winner here at Old Dominion. Terrific coach.
Nick Wright, Dante Hill, Keenan Palmore, Deshaun Painter, and Deion Clark will start for Old Dominion. Aaron Baycoat had started the first couple of games. He will not start this one for the Monarchs. And what about for the Roadrunners from UTSA? Brooks Thompson in his 7th season.
Brooks Thompson was a great player at Oklahoma State. He was played for 5 different NBA teams. He's resurrected this program. He's an excellent coach also.
Jordan Sims, Cannon Burridge, Michael Hale III, Jeremy Hill from Australia, and Larry Wilkins. Monarchs will be wearing the white uniforms with the slate blue and light blue trim. Moving from left to right, and UTSA, the Roadrunners, ready to get running in their blue uniforms with the orange and white trim. And wherever you may be, glad to have you enjoying basketball back for the 2012-2013 season. Jumping it up, Larry Wilkins and Nick Wright. Wilkins, a 6'4", 250-pound senior from San Antonio.
He set out the entire year last year with an Achilles tendon blowout, so it's interesting to see how he performs tonight.
Tap controlled by the Roadrunners, and we are underway on this Veterans Day. This is Michael Hale III, averaging 16 points this year. Burridge with the basketball, back to Wilkins, takes it to the hole, reverse layup, good.
That's a great block and roll to start it out with on the side. Didn't have much help from the Old Dominion defense that time.
Palmore running the attack, leaves for Painter, decides to jack up a 3, and that's not going to work. First time out of the shortest guy on the floor, Hale comes up with a rebound. This is Jeremy Hill. Now gets the ball to Sims, Jordan Sims. One bounce to Hill, pass deflected, going for Wilkins, but he recovers to the corner. Burridge drives to the baseline. Sees Sims for a 3, and that's good.
Speaking with the Old Dominion staff, they were concerned about UTSA's three-point shooting. They've taken a lot. They're shooting about 35%, and that's a pretty good percentage from the three-point line.
Solid start for the Roadrunners. They've got the first 5 on the board, and there's one off Palmore, and out of bounds, turnover Old Dominion.
Right now, Old Dominion's got to get their defense together. They've gotten a couple easy roll situations, and they got penetration and dish on the last easy three-point shot.
Charlie, it's also going to be interesting to see how the third game in 3 days affects these teams and when it decides to start affecting these teams. Here's Hill, the Aussie, 6'8", up and under move against Nick Wright. Wright gets a piece of that one. Back goes Hill, sticking with it and getting his first deuce, and it's 7-0.
Hill's been an all-conference player. He's picked second team this year in the WAC, the first year that he's been in it. But he is extremely skilled around the basket and can shoot the basketball.
Palmore now against Hale. Freshman against senior. Painter's been making some hay with both hands in the first 2 games of this season. Here he goes with the left and hits.
He's got a definite size advantage over Wilkins. He needs to get him close to the hoop and take it right to the basket.
No resting on the Roadrunners as they motor up the court, and Dante Hill's going to pick up the first foul of the afternoon.
I'll tell you, you're going to have to contain Hale because he really looks to penetrate. He not only shoots the jump shot, but he's going to try to get in the lane and make trouble for the defense.
You see Richard Ross enter the ball game in place of Deshaun Painter. He's got the padding on his right wrist. Actually, it wasn't Painter that went out. It was Nick Wright that went out. The inbounds pass comes to Burridge, and he'll set things up with the Roadrunners leading the Monarchs 7-2 early on here in Norfolk. Day 3 of the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Nice crossover move. They're going to call another foul on the Monarchs. That'll be against Painter, his first.
Right now, the Monarchs got to get their defense rolling.
And Taylor wondering what's going on here, and here's the move from Burridge. Painter got the left ankle in there. Bounce pass comes to Wilkins. Now here's Burridge. Man-to-man defense from Old Dominion. Dante Hill has the Burridge assignment at this point. Hill, Hale. Ross flashes out on the 5'9", Hale. Step back 3. Rims the basket and goes in.
You don't want Hale to get off to a good start if you're Old Dominion because he is a momentum player. He gets on a roll, he's hard to stop.
Averaging 16 a game, Charlie, and it's 10-2 UTSA. Palmore, he's a left-hander, scoop with the left, hits the bottom of the backboard, and the Roadrunners are running the road here once again with an 8-point lead. Hale all the way. Floater off glass for 2.
I think everybody's beginning to see what we talked about in the opening. This young man is fun to watch.
Blaine Taylor thinking, you know what, I'm going to need to have a chat with my team down 10 with just 2:50 into the contest. Again, the third game in 3 days for both these teams. Both squads are 1-1, Charlie, and it's the new faces we'll be keeping an eye on because trying to blend together under fire is difficult.
It certainly is, and when you have as many new people as this, they've got to get to know not only each other's strengths, but their weaknesses, and don't go towards your weaknesses. The Roadrunners are running a little bit different offense than they did last night. They're running an isolated block and roll on both sides of the floor, and there's not any help back under the basket.
Take a look at Hale. Take it all the way, and then floating it off the window for 2.
You can tell he's played against a lot of big players in his life. He let that one go quickly. Believe it or not, this young guy in the all-star game between the state of Oregon and Washington when he was in high school won the slam dunk contest.
I will believe anything about that young man. UTSA 5 for 6 from the floor. Monarchs 1 for 2 in the early going. It's a 12-2 advantage. This is Palmore. Tight defense from Hale, but Keenan gets past it. Kicks it to Deion Clark. The freshman shoots and misses the 3. Battle for the rebound. Tapped out of bounds by Wilkins. Will be Monarch basketball.
Wilkins is one of those wide bodies under there. He's not that tall. He's only about 6'4", but takes up a lot of space around the basket.
Dimitri Batten, number 4, into the contest for Old Dominion. They love his energy off the bench. We'll see if he can provide it here this afternoon. Palmore to Painter. He'll take a 17-footer. The iron denies that, but Palmore, an offensive rebound, and the putback goes for 2, and he's fouled by Hale.
I think they're going to get him with a charge there.
We're going to get a charge on that. But the bucket's going to count? Let's have a take a look, Charlie. What do you think on this one?
Well, I'm not sure. He pointed the other way now. Looks like they may have changed that decision.
Hale tried to get the position, but no. Buckets.
I think he just pointed in the wrong way when the referee made the call.
Palmore's first 2. Monarchs within 8 now, 12-4, and the foul will go on Hale. Palmore, 63% foul shooter early in his college career. He's just a freshman. The Stone Mountain, Georgia. He converts on the 3-point play. Much needed offense from Old Dominion. Where will they get that offense? Always been the question. The defense is never really a question with the Blaine Taylor team, Charlie Willem, but the offense has been.
Well, you know, right now I think the Monarchs are going to be more perimeter-oriented than they were last year. They're not as big around the basket and not as physical.
Hill drives baseline, kicks it back out to Hale. Wilkins, Burridge, left wing 3, short. Dante Hill the rebound for Old Dominion.
Old Dominion went to zone a little bit that time, changed it up.
One of the things we'll be keeping an eye on is the rebounding battle. Monarchs a +7 thus far this season, and UTSA a -11 on the boards.
The Monarchs have a history of being a great rebounding team. They've led the nation in rebound margin the last couple of years. They're going to be a little different this year. They're going to have to get a lot more rebounding from their perimeter players than they have in the past.
A.J. Price and Enrico McGregor into the contest for Brooks Thompson's Roadrunners. Under 16 to play in the first. 12-5 UTSA. Here's Hill. Nick Wright goes corner and stops and pops off the glass. No. Getting up for the rebound was Hill and Ross, and it goes off Jeremy Hill. First segment in the books. UTSA off to a fast start. They lead Old Dominion 12-5. Back to the Constant Center in Norfolk in a moment. Of basketball. It's the Liberty Tax Classic at the Constant Center in Norfolk. UTSA leading Old Dominion 12-5. We mentioned the new faces, Charlie Willem, on all these teams, both of these teams, I should say. Old Dominion, take a look at the class balance here or imbalance.
Well, this is going to take Blaine a very good coaching year. When you got 7 freshmen, you got a lot of young players out there, but he'll get it done.
Monarchs will inbound from underneath their own basket. Aaron Bako in the contest for the first time. Inbounds to Nick Wright. The ball's tapped away. Nice hustle play there from McGregor. Old Dominion basketball. It'll be interesting to watch the Monarchs from beyond the arc. Just 5 for 30 this season in from three-point range, including 0 for 13 in their Friday night loss to Holy Cross. Here's Batten, who's a threat from deep. Takes it to the hole, puts it up with the right hand, and that's not going to happen.
Right now, Ted, Old Dominion's taking much more difficult shots out here than is the Roadrunners.
This is Price, the 6'2 freshman guard from the Colony, Texas.
Old Dominion's gone back to that 1-2-2 zone to get out of man-to-man because they were really burning them in the man-to-man defense.
Price calls for the pick. Jump shot there is good. Jordan Sims for 3, and it's 15-5. Where will the Monarchs find that offense? Dante Hill with the stop and pop that drops.
That's good basketball right there. Quick pull-up off the dribble. Good jump shot.
Monarchs have not led this afternoon. The Roadrunners off to the fast start with Burridge missing from the corner. Batten with a 4-on-1 goes to Dante Hill. Hill gets fouled by Price. Probably a good play by Price.
It was. The Monarchs have to spread that outnumber break when they come down a little bit. They had got too close together and made it easy for one man to play two. You've got to get more distance between you.
Charlie, one of the themes for today, third game in as many days, is that a good thing because you get a huge sample of what your team's like, or would you like to have maybe a day or two off in between to make adjustments?
Well, to be honest with you, I'd rather have a day off, but this is the way it is. They've got to handle it. But I think they're going to find out a lot about themselves playing 3 straight days. And in some ways, it's good because the young players are going to say, hey, we didn't do too well. Let's listen to Coach now. And I think that's very important.
Especially with so many new faces on the roster, learning to play with each other. Hill makes good on both foul shots.
It's very easy to look at yourself and say, we didn't do too good doing it our way. Now maybe we better do it Coach's way.
Monarchs within 6. No points off the bench yet, though, for Old Dominion. Here's a tip pass, but Hill recovers for the Roadrunners. Into the corner he goes. Sims gets the ball off to McGregor. Jump stop move, rebounded by Hill. Skip pass to Burridge now.
This Roadrunner team is very active on the offensive boards. They got 3 guys inside that really go to the glass.
And again, they've been out-rebounded in their 2 games. Here's a shot no good from Sims. Offside rebound comes to Nick Wright. And the Monarchs are moving. Trying to cut into that deficit. Batten off Dimitri and out of bounds. Tried to move before he had control. And it'll be a turnover for Old Dominion.
A lot of that's just concentration. You've got to catch the ball, then make your move. You can't, it's like a football player. You try to run with a pass before you got it, you're going to be in trouble. That's what happened that time.
Burridge out. Hygie Thomas, a 6'1", 160-pound junior from Houston, in for Brooks Thompson's Roadrunners. Hale back into the game as well. Michael Hale, a quick 5 points to start this game. Helped the Roadrunners to an early lead. Thomas back to Hale. Hale to Hill. Into the corner. Double for Thomas.
Good double team in there.
And he calls a timeout.
I think this zone has done a good job getting the Roadrunners to do a little bit more standing. They were just too active against the man-to-man. They hurt them bad early in the game. This has helped Old Dominion the last few times.
Good defense right there from the Monarchs. Gives Blaine Taylor an opportunity to talk to his team about in-game adjustments here.
And I think going to the zone was a big plus for them at this point because they just couldn't handle that high block and roll because they had no help back in there when the roll man went to the basket. But the zone has slowed down the movement of UTSA.
Wayne Taylor, the winningest coach in ODU basketball history in his 12th season here in Norfolk. And for the first time in a long time, doesn't have a lot of seniors to lean on. And Charlie Williams, been a long-time Hall of Fame coach at Bucknell and William & Mary. It's tough when you don't have a lot of seniors to help pass the message along.
Well, it takes a while, but these young guys, once they learn, and Blaine has an ability to get the messages over to them quickly, and I think they're going to learn fast.
Jeremy Hill, a 6'8", 230-pound junior, to inbound the ball. Gets it in. We've got an offensive foul call there.
I tell you, I don't know. I've seen more offensive fouls in the last couple of nights. These players have to hold that thing steady when they first set that screen, because if they move at all, they're going to get them every time.
Eddie McGregor picks up the foul for UTSA.
McGregor is really a specimen, I tell you. He's from the Bahamas. I was speaking with their coaches. They say he has nothing but upside because he is just such a strong individual.
That pass gets away from Deion Clark. Another turnover for Old Dominion. And on this Sunday, we have a look at Brooks Thompson, who's really turned things around in San Antonio.
He has that. He was a junior college coach after he finished his NBA playing career, and he has really brought this program on.
A couple years ago, had that first 4 victory. And there's a nice 3 from the left wing for Michael Hale. He's got 8.
I guess it's sort of in vogue now today, 2 initials in the third, but he's right there.
As a junior, I understand. This is Deshaun Painter to Clark. Hounded there by Sims. Gets the ball to Baycoat. Looking for some scoring out of Baycoat. Nothing yet. No bench points yet for the Monarchs. Here's Palmore taking it to the hole, dishing it back toward Painter. Deshaun recovers and scores.
That's where he's really going to help this team, because he has the ability to finish around the basket.
I was going to say that when he can finish there, you can turn a sloppy pass into 2 points.
It was not an easy play, but he made it an easy play.
Hill almost throws it away, but Thomas saves it. McGregor back outside to Hale. No look pass into the corner for a 3 for Hill. That's good.
You see what we talked about early. His whole offensive scheme surrounds this young man out there. He either makes the play or scores, or he lets have someone else have an easy basket.
5 for 7, the Roadrunners from beyond the arc. Monarchs 0 for 1 thus far. And when you're going 5 for 7 from deep, Charlie, that's a good thing for your offense.
That's big. That's a big foul on number 11. They're going to miss him.
Monarchs trail a fast start here. 21-11, a 10-point advantage for the second time in this first half. They lead by double digits, 11:57 to go until halftime, and they've got this lead, Charlie Willem, thanks in part to Michael Hale III.
No doubt about it. This young man, as we said, does it all. He can hit that jumper. He backs the defense off of him because he penetrates so well.
One of the things about Hale, though, the problem is he just picked up personal foul number 2, so he will have a seat, and his 8 points go to Brooks Thompson's bench as well, and the Monarchs will try and get back in. They trail by 10 once again. Here's Baycoat. That one's good.
That's where Baycoat can really help this Monarch basketball team. I had a chance to see him in high school, and he can really shoot the basketball.
Bethel High School in Hampton. Loved the days when Aaron was playing for them.
There's another example of that quick roll off that screen. The Monarchs have got to get more help around the basket. These are too easy up shots.
Hill, athletic for 6'8", has 7 points now. Quickly at the other end, Monarchs can't convert. Painter running the floor, but they turn it over again.
I think the Monarchs need to slow down a little at the half-court offense, because they're trying to get a shot after one pass. They need to make that extra pass get a little bit easier shot.
4th turnover for the Monarchs here in the first 8:45 of action. There's a nice deflection from Dante Hill. And we've got an over and back called. Burridge said,
I think he'll turn this one around. I'm not sure. But
they're going to call the over and back, so a turnover for Burridge and the Roadrunners, their second of the first half.
That's very good overplay on that by the Monarchs that time. They got out in the passing lane with that arm extended and knocked the ball in the backcourt.
Anton Larson, the 7-footer out of Copenhagen, Denmark, looking to get to the game. He will be allowed in the place of Deshaun Painter, who leaves with 2 field goals, 4 points.
Everybody tells me that Larson is really an improved basketball player. Obviously, he's a big young man, but his skill level is pretty good.
Improved his strength as well and bulked up just a little bit. Clark has the open look for the 3, and that one's no good. Rebound tapped, and here comes Burridge of UTSA. Alley-oop to Hill.
They're getting outnumbered on the break right now. The Monarchs have got to get back.
The largest advantage of the first half for the Roadrunners now is 25-14. Clark goes to Baycoat. This young Monarch team has to realize there's no 11-point shot that they can shoot here. And the Roadrunners ratchet up the defense, but that time, Hy-G Thomas a little too aggressive.
Right now, pressure, man-to-man pressure from this UTSA team has really bothered the execution of Old Dominion in the half court. They've got to be more patient, move the ball better, move people better, and be a little bit more patient getting shots.
Heading toward the midpoints of the first half. UTSA, the decided advantage. Here's Baycoat, tries to fire, instead takes Thomas to the left, blocks, layup, no good. Tapped up, no Nick Wright, again, and finally coming down with the ball is I.G. Thomas at 6'1", doing a little soaring for UTSA. Left-hand side, A.J. Price, that one's no good. Burridge, the offensive board, takes it over Larson, and they're going to call Larson for the block. The layup is good by Burridge.
I could not tell if he was inside that circle under there, Ted, but that's, as we know, last year they put that circle in there, and you're not going to take a charge off the ball from that position.
Let's have another look at it. It looks like he was a little bit outside it.
I guess the referee felt like he was in the air first.
I'm sure Old Dominion minds would think otherwise.
I'm sure you're exactly right with that.
Burridge, that was his first field goal. He'll get one shot to complete the three-point play and extend this Roadrunner lead.
And one of the reasons the Roadrunners are getting better shots right now, the Monarchs are not getting back on defense and locating men. They're either giving them something to the basket or they're hitting their perimeter shooters, and they got wide open looks at the bucket.
Largest advantage of the first half for UTSA. Here's Hill trying to do something about it. That one goes awry, and the rebound comes off to Tyler Wood, but the ball's lost, and Hill goes up again, and he's fouled there by Larry Wilkins.
Well, that's a good effort by Dante Hill that time. He never gave up on the play, got after the rebound, and drew the foul.
Let's take another look at this one. Hill takes it to the hole. Floater, no, but stays with it.
Gets back on the floor with good hustle.
Hill battling the Virginia Beach native, transfer from Clemson. Get a couple of shots now. He's a left-hander. First one, no good. Monarchs come in as a team shooting 56% from the foul line, and in close games, that's not going to get it done.
It won't, and I said last night after the game, I think that's one of the areas that Blaine's going to be working on in practice.
But today, 3 out of 4. Hill makes good on 1 of 2. He's got 5 points, and the lead is 13 for Texas San Antonio. This is Price, guarded man-to-man by Palmore. The pick from Wilkins, Wood now. Again, Hill getting his paw in there. Thought he deflected it off a Roadrunner, but officials think otherwise, and UTSA keeps control of the basketball.
Hill has really increased his intensity defensively, and I'm sure Blaine hopes that the rest of them will take after him out there. He's making it tough to throw passes to his man every time.
A.J. Price running the attack for Brooks Thompson. Teams look good today. This is Burridge, guarded by Hill. And he's going to drag the pivot foot right there. We've seen that call a couple of times over the last 3 days. And it's just a ticky-tack call, but a correct one.
Well, I think that's what 4 turnovers that they've had this first half.
So they're evening the turnover battle of the Monarchs, but the scoreboard still looks a little Roadrunner lopsided.
One of the reasons for the turnovers, I think Old Dominion's intensity on defense has gotten much better in the last few possessions.
Batten's going to fire a 3. It's not going to go, and the board's cleared by Thomas of UTSA. Working the perimeter. A lot of athletes on this Roadrunner club. Burridge for 3. Nope. Battling for the rebound, Palmore and Wood, and diving is Wilkins toward the Monarch bench. Great effort from the 6'4 senior from San Antonio, but he couldn't keep it in, and the Monarchs will try and carve out another deuce or so to get a little closer here.
Talking with Coach Thompson last night, he said that if he had been healthy last year, they think their team could have really even done better than it did.
Palmore with an aisle, but can't hit the layup, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by UTSA. Deshaun Painter checking back in for Anton Larson. Rebounding advantage thus far for UTSA, 10-9. And again, that's a headline for the Roadrunners because they've been out rebounding their first couple of games, and Painter's going to be called for steps. Turnover number 5.
got to take better care of the basketball, especially when you're down like this. You've got to make sure that you get a shot with each possession.
13-6 run for the Roadrunners over the last 4.5 minutes have helped them build this 13-point first half advantage.
There's that roll again, and they're not getting back quick enough.
Wood's going to fire a three. That one nowhere near the bucket, and the Monarchs come away with the basketball with Palmore, who's going to be fouled by Price. Second personal on an A.J. Price, so Brooks Thompson has a bit of a concern at point guard with Hale and Price, both with a pair of personal fouls.
It certainly does, and both of these guys play it a little differently, too. The point position. I think obviously Hale is the better of the two, but Price is a good player out there too.
Palmore getting past Price right there, and 1-1 free throw opportunity for Keenan Palmore, who's got 3 points this afternoon. First one's good.
I'm sure Price said to himself, here, I get a foul called on me, I get punched in the mouth out there. Those things happen though.
Another opportunity for Palmore. Swish is that one. He leads the Monarchs with 5. He and Dante Hill each have 5 points, and the lead is 11.
A little full court pressure from the Monarchs right now. See if they can change the tempo of this basketball game.
Batten working against I.G. Thomas. Dimitri, they're going to call a foul on Batten. Timeout on the floor. Dimitri will think about that one. UTSA in control in this first 20 minutes. They lead Old Dominion 28 to Center in Norfolk, everybody. The Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. UTSA leads Old Dominion 28-17 as the Monarchs break the huddle. Ted Alexander, Charlie Woolham are here, and Coach Woolham, when you're talking about a team whose intensity is inconsistent because they're so young, how can you build it back up? Because we were talking about the Monarchs being more intense on defense last night than they are today.
Well, I think they started the game, they weren't very intense out here. And right now they're very fortunate that they're only down 11 points because they have not really put much pressure on UTSA defensively.
Thomas and Burge out top.
It'll be a good time for the Monarchs to try to make a move with Hale off the floor. He hasn't been in since about the 11-minute mark now.
Sims now to Wilkins. Wilkins turns, has the ball stripped. Palmore gets it to Dante Hill. Here's Batten thinking about that three. Takes it to the hole. Double pumper for Dimitri Batten off the rim. No good. Richard Ross with the cast on his hand. It's a soft cast, and he controls, but it's difficult.
Ted, these are not easy shots the Monarchs are taking. They're very difficult shots.
Palmore loses control out of bounds.
I used to tell my team this is not diving. You don't score based on the amount of difficulty. And right now the Old Dominion basketball players are taking very difficult shots.
And it seems at the other end, the Roadrunners are getting whatever they want.
They sure are. They're getting open jumpers or penetration with dishes off the penetration.
Thomas has Palmore go down to the deck and takes the three but can't hit it. Dante Hill grabs the one-handed rebound, and here comes Old Dominion trying to cut into an 11-point lead. Dante to Painter. Painter lays it up. Off the rim, no good. Ross tips it in.
Good effort by Ross that time. Playing with a soft cast on his hand and not letting it bother him at all.
It's like having a lobster pot on your paw. It's got to be difficult. Here comes Hill to the hole. It's been a while. The Roadrunners a little bit of a field goal drought. Haven't had one in about 3.5 minutes.
Hill, a very deceptive player. He doesn't appear very fast, but he's very skilled, and he knows what to do on the basketball floor. If he catches you overplaying him, he takes the ball to the basket, just like he did right there.
He's having success, 4 for 5 from the field. He's got 9 points. Does the Aussie, Jeremy Hill. Again, as a coach, especially at this stage of the season, I guess you're just looking for the combination that will solve the current mystery.
Hill is a very experienced player on the international basketball, too, so you know he knows how to play fundamentally.
Taking it in is Thomas. Loses the ball out of bounds, but it'll be Roadrunner basketball. Largest lead for UTSA this half has been 14.
For UTSA, A.J. Price.
Monarchs will 5-0 run to try and make things interesting before the intermission. Hill brings it in, stolen away by Palmore. Palmore working against Wilkins and drives and lays it up with the right hand. Steal and a stroll for Palmore. He's got 7.
Well, that's what we said about this young man. He does everything you want a good point guard to do. Play defense, handles, passes, shoots, distributes.
7 field goals made for the Monarchs, but 6 turnovers. And the crowd here at the Constant Center finally getting into it on a Sunday afternoon. Burridge decides to take it to the hole, and he's fouled. Strong move. Hill went up for the block, but he got a lot of birds as well.
This is the play I've been talking about. The Monarchs are not giving any help side defense. That man was able to go. He came, even the help came across late, and of course he had to make a play on the ball and fouled it.
2 shots now for Cannon Burridge, who's a 46% free throw shooter thus far this season. Of course, the sampling size for these stats is just 2 games. But let's see what he can do, averaging 14.5 points a contest. First one's good. He's got 4 this afternoon.
Burridge was their leading scorer last year, so he knows how to score the basketball.
78% foul shooter a year ago. Goes 1 for 2 this time around, and Anton Larson has the rebound for Old Dominion. 8-point advantage for the Roadrunners. Palmore finds Baycoat, who turns and fires and hits.
3-point field goal, and Baycoat, a Cox bundle, 3-pointer.
These Monarch fans are going to get used to that because that young man can shoot the basketball.
Monarchs haven't been this close since Arbor Day. Here's Burridge for 3. He's fouled, and it's good. Cannon Burridge over Hill for 3, and the foul.
Burridge is one of those players that just seems to know how to get the ball into the basket. He doesn't look that pretty, but he knows how to score.
Dante Hill, his 3rd personal foul.
Dante's probably been the most aggressive defender the Monarchs have had to this point, so they'll miss him while he sits the bench the rest of his half.
And when you're defending those that are extremely athletic, like these Roadrunners, makes it harder.
It sure does.
Burridge makes the 4-point play come true, and the lead is back to 9. 6 for 12 from deep, Charlie, for the Roadrunners, 2 for 5 for Old Dominion.
And most of them have come on penetration and passes to open players.
Baycoat had a foot on the line, so that's just a deuce, but he's catching a little bit of fire, and that's good news for Monarch Nation.
Well, they ought to let him handle it at least once every time down the floor right now while he's got the hot hand.
Sims and Price now. Monarchs in a man-to-man defense. Hill has been on fire from deep. That pass tipped by Nick Wright and out of bounds. 18 to shoot for the Roadrunners.
Baycoat's offensive game at the other end of the floor has ignited a little bit of energy at their defensive end.
It's interesting how that will do it, isn't it? Here's a 3-pointer from deep for Sims. Not good. Ball batted around. Who's it off of? Off of Hill. Monarch basketball. And I'm sure as a coach you want to make a little bit of a run before the intermission to make the lead manageable when you come out for the second 20.
Definitely.
Passive pressure from A.J. Price and UTSA. Palmore, double team, gets the ball to Nick Wright. Wright, is he going to take the 3? No, he'll go to Anton Larson, who also doesn't mind hoisting it from deep.
They can afford to be patient and get the shot they want now.
Baycoat, the freshman.
UTSA's in zone right now, so it's a little different look defensively at him. Be patient and get the good shot.
Here's Palmore, takes it into the paint. Teardrop off the rim, no good. Wright battles for the board. Ball's on the ground, saved nicely by Burridge. Now to Price. 7-point UTSA advantage here in Norfolk. 4 minutes to go in the first half. It's the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Burridge looking down low for Hill. Hill underneath, burrows his way, but forgot to put the ball on the deck. That's a turnover for the Roadrunners. Timeouts on the court. Signs of life for Old Dominion, but a nice answer from the Roadrunners. Liberty Tax Classic might be just that. Back to Norfolk in a moment.
Chase down weeds and grass and beat the living mulch out of them. The Homescaper Series blower vac from Stihl. Are you ready to quit playing with toys? Are you ready for a Stihl?
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
We take the complexity out of the process and give you an answer quickly.
I'm honored to have helped so many military families in achieving their dream of home ownership.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage lender.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilder, head football coach at ODU. On and off the field, life's moving fast, and I can't afford to miss a minute. Poor vision was holding me back from the things I love. So, I decided to make a change. Thanks to Dr. Scoper, the physicians, and the entire staff at Virginia Eye Consultants, I now have perfect vision and couldn't be happier.
Virginia Eye Consultants, leaders in world-class specialty eye care, and a proud sponsor of ODU football and Coach Wilder's New Vision.
Back at the Constant Center, UTSA, a 7-point advantage over Old Dominion. 3 games in 3 days to start things for this 2012-2013 season. Next 5 for Old Dominion, Saturday at Cleveland State. Then home for VMI at Murray State. Never a cakewalk at the Racers. The Tribe of William & Mary will host Old Dominion on the 1st of December, and then the Richmond Spiders come here to the TED. No easy pickings for Old Dominion.
Not at all, not especially a team as young as this. But they're going to get better, I'm sure of that.
Monarchs have been gnawing on this UTSA lead, which was once 14. It's like a rawhide chew in a dog. They've gotten now to within 7 points. This is as close as they've been in the last 10 minutes or so.
And they're going to look at a little zone pressure, getting the ball up the floor. UTSA is going to give them a different look off. And that's tough on young players, too, to see with so many changing defenses.
Palmore, left-hand side. He loves this side. Stopped by Jeremy Hill there. Brings it back out to Baycoat. Baycoat, Batten, Painter, Palmore, and Richard Ross for Old Dominion.
They're looking at a half-court zone now, a little 2-3.
Alley-oop to Ross.
That's a good way to hit it, too. I tell you, Ross, he is absolutely some kind of athlete. I mean, he's almost freakish. Gets off the floor, so I keep looking for him to continue up when he goes.
He's a Wichita Falls, Texas native, loves putting on a show for the home folks. Hill picks up the Burge air ball, lefty layup, goes nowhere near the hoop, and a foul downstairs on UTSA. Looks like it's going to be on Wilkins. Let's have another look at this alley-oop. Charlie, you got to love this when you're playing offense.
Whenever you're playing 2-3, you got to watch the back of that zone because that's a cross-court pass, and you just slipped in behind the defender. Good job by the Monarchs.
Ross, such a great athlete in high school down there in Texas, a high jump champion and the like. Bench points thus far. Monarchs are getting some contribution. It's a 12-0 ODU advantage off the Pine, and they've got themselves to within 5, and they haven't been here in a while. Meanwhile, with the Roadrunners over the foul limit, Deshaun Painter will go to the line for the first time this afternoon.
You know, an interesting fact, I saw somewhere where Ross's high school coach played for Blaine at Montana. So there was a connection there a long time before he got here, I guess.
The tangled webs we weave. That one's tipped up off the free throw miss, but Painter chases down the rebound. Another whistle. A little extra hustle from the Monarchs there. And again, a little bit more intensity from the home squad.
Well, these young guys, I think, to some degree are playing in spurts with their intensity level. They've got to learn to play every second they're on the floor with the same intensity level. And I'm sure, knowing Blaine, they'll pick that up pretty quick.
Monarchs 6 for 8 from the foul line thus far. And Painter will get another opportunity here. Swishes that one. Got a nice stroke. Painter 3 for 5 on the season from the foul line. Will get one more. Monarchs within 4 here as the first half winds down. Second one is good. It's a 3-point UTSA advantage, and the crowd here at the TED, understandably, is a little bit more involved.
I think a lot of this started with Baco's shooting, too. They seemed to energize his teammates. They've gotten better at the defensive end and certainly better on the boards because they've really battled it.
Isn't it crazy how making shots gets people excited?
Sure is.
Burridge, give and go to Hill. Pick and roll there, but Hill can't convert. A blazing start for Jeremy Hill. Cooled off since then. We're under 3 minutes now.
That's another example of that play that the Monarchs have really had trouble defending.
Closest score since it was 5-0. Here's Batten. Dimitri Batten, his first points of the day, tie the game. A 3 ties everything at 33. Here's Burridge with a runner. That's good. 10 points for Burridge. 35-33. Baycoat fakes, drives, lays it up. No, but he's fouled. Looks like that one will be on Burridge.
It's interesting to watch, too. Old Dominion picking up their intensity has made UTSA play faster than I think they want to play down here. They've taken shots a little quicker than they were. The momentum has just absolutely shifted here, both offensively and defensively.
Give the foul to Jordan Sims, his first. Baycoat's first trip to the line. Hits the first. 9 points off the bench for Aaron Baycoat. Clark in now for Old Dominion. A 14-point first half lead for UTSA has evaporated. Baycoat try to tie the game again here.
Monarchs' 3 freshman guards are going to have great careers. They're very talented young men.
16-zip, the Monarch lead off the bench when it comes to scoring. There's a steal by Ross. Look out below! And looky here, Old Dominion leads UTSA with under 2 to play in the first. Burridge. The crowd into it. All spurred by the defense. It picked up the intensity. Price now for UTSA. Burridge against Clark. This is for 3. That's good. That's a big-time shot to quiet things. He's got 13. Baycoat. Down the right-hand side. Who's going to pick him up? Nobody. So a foul.
What's happening right now, these guards are taking the ball to the rack. UTSA is not getting in good position, and they're dropping the axe on them. They've set them to the foul line about 3 or 4 straight times.
Enrico McGregor picks up the personal. That's his second. Minute 18 to go in the first. Baycoat back to the line. Went 1 for 2 just a couple of moments ago. First one, no good. Baycoat, 6'5", 175-pound freshman from nearby Hampton, Virginia, just through the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Played his high school ball at Bethel. When you think about the keys to the Monarch comeback, one of the reasons is Michael Hale III's been on the bench.
Absolutely.
He scored 8 quick points, but he's only played 8 minutes of the first 18 in the contest. Picked up that second personal foul. Baycoat hits 1 of 2 to 1-point lead. Baycoat with 10 points now. That's thrown away.
That was a little deflection, I think, that time.
Oh, they're going to call a deflection. Oh, my.
I didn't see it, but both refs did, so I guess that I'm not sure.
The folks here at the Constant Center are a little skeptical on that one, but we play on. With Burridge and 60 seconds to work with. Looking back at his coach. Brooks Thompson says, do something that gives me 2 points. And Burridge stops and pops, and it drops.
Well, that's a good example. The man with a hot hand, get the ball in his hand, let him make a play, and that's exactly what Burridge did that time.
Monarchs took a 1-point lead after trailing by 14. Now the Roadrunners have jumped back on top by 3. 10-second differential shot clock and game clock. Palmore leaves for Larson. Larson fakes the 3, gets into the paint, push hand, no. Rebound to Jeremy Hill. Shot clock off. Here comes the final possession, perhaps.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised they get the ball out there to Burridge, let him make a one-on-one play.
Burridge with 15 first-half points, leading all scorers.
They're going to isolate on him. They may show him a token screen, and he'll get out of his way so he doesn't get double teamed.
Bayco playing the defense for Old Dominion. Burge, as Wright flashes up, they get the ball to Hill. Hill shoots the three at the buzzer, and that's no good.
Good job of defending that block and roll at the top of the key by the Monarchs.
Charlie, the Monarchs finally got the plane up to altitude, and although at one point they were down 14, now they go to the intermission down to here in Norfolk. UTSA's Roadrunners and the Monarchs of Old Dominion University. More basketball coming up. But first, we turn our attention to soccer, and Alan Dawson of the Old Dominion soccer squad gearing up for another NCAA tournament appearance.
I've been the head coach here for, I believe, 16 years. We've had a successful run, particularly in the last 10, 12 years. It took a little while to get the program up and running, but we've been very consistent. We've been to 8 of the last 10 NCAAs, and hopefully we'll add to that again this year. We've been to 2 Sweet 16s, and we've been a consistent top 20 contender year in, year out, and a very clean program that's got good kids, and we're very proud of it. We've got 5 seniors this year. Pretty much all of them play. 2 of those guys are captains. So a lot of leadership, a lot of personality. Yannick Smith, Chris Harmon, Alex DeJohn, Victor Francos is our keeper, and Jordan LeBlanc are the 5 guys. They're all kind of, apart from Victor. Victor's from France, but the rest of the boys are all Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Great kids, built a great foundation for the program. If we get into the tournament this year, they'll have been to the tournament 3 of the 4 years. Yeah, it's been an interesting year. We started off 6-0. At one point we were as high as number 7 in the RPI, so very strong start. Once you get into conference play, it becomes a lot different because teams know you. The venues are not as good, so it's tough, and the bullseye's on our back. Our final home game was against Northeastern. Conference game, we're not allowed to play in the conference tournament, so that was our last regular season game. We were victorious 1-0, and that has pushed us as high as number 24 in the RPI, so we're real excited.
And the Monarchs will find out who they play in the tournament tomorrow. Coming up, second half action, UTSA's Roadrunners and the Monarchs of Old Dominion, live from Norfolk.
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
With my 23 years in the business, I'll be with you from start to finish.
I love working with a first-time home buyer. I like seeing them go from nervous and anxious to happy and excited.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage lender.
So for most 2-cycle engines, you set the switch to on, set the choke, prime it, then you pull the cord.
Cool, thanks. Okay, sir, I got it all figured out. You gotta switch it to on, pull the choke. What?
When you're ready for outdoor power equipment, assembled, sold, and serviced by real experts, you're ready for a Stihl.
Our solution: treating cancer, healing wounds, and preventing disease by using bioelectric technologies.
Our R&D contributes nearly $1 billion annually to the regional economy, enhancing the growth and vitality of our state and our nation.
Our solution.
Idea Fusion. Old Dominion University.
Today's game is presented by the following Team Monarch partners: Pepsi, the official soft drink of ODU basketball. Pepsi, refresh everything. Cox Communications, Cox, your friend in the digital age. And by the Virginia Lottery. The Virginia Lottery, we're game. Today's game is also presented by Liberty Tax Service. Liberty Tax Service, making a difference in the tax preparation industry.
Virginia Lottery.
Back in Norfolk, UTSA leads Old Dominion at halftime, 40-37. Roadrunners at one point had a 14-point lead. Monarchs took a 1-point advantage. Now the Roadrunner lead is 3. For Old Dominion, it's a final year in the Colonial Athletic Association, and Charlie Woolham, they were predicted to finish 4th behind Drexel, Delaware, and George Mason.
Well, those 3 teams on top are going to be very good basketball teams. Drexel and Delaware have everybody back, and Mason's very athletic. But Old Dominion's going to get better as the year goes on.
Now we talk about this Conference USA move. It's going to be rather interesting because this is like a preview of what will begin next year with UTSA, the Roadrunners moving into Conference USA, and the Monarchs going there as well.
Well, the Roadrunners are sort of like a man without a country right now. They left one league last year. They're in the WAC this year, and next year they go to Conference USA. So it'll be an interesting thing to follow both of these teams as they go into new leagues.
The changing landscape of college conferences. You see the newcomers to CUSA next year with the 49ers from Charlotte, Florida International, Louisiana Tech, North Texas, and UTSA. 6 new members in 2013 and losing 4 from 2012. It seems like it makes a lot of sense for UTSA with more Texas schools in Conference USA than the Western Athletic Conference.
Well, you're going to get some frequent flyer miles, I would think, because you're going to do a lot of traveling to the South, and I think it'll be fun.
How do you think it'll affect this Monarch team that doesn't have an opportunity to play in the CAA tournament and therefore for that automatic bid to the NCAAs?
Well, I think Blaine's probably taking every game like it's a tournament game now, and will as the season goes on. They still will be eligible to play beyond that point. They just cannot represent the conference in the NCAA.
At one point, UTSA led this first half 28-14. Monarchs have gnawed their way back into things, and so we've got ourselves a basketball game. 40-37, Roadrunners over the Monarchs, and we'll be back to the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. UTSA leading Old Dominion at the intermission 40-37. Ted Alexander, Charlie Woolham here, and Charlie, sort of a tale of 2 halves in the first half.
It was. The momentum definitely shifted, and I think when Hale got in foul trouble, everything kind of went away from UTSA. But I expect a very competitive second half. Either team could pull this out.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the first half. And in the first half of the first half, it was all Roadrunners. Watch Michael Hale III.
Well, he hits the jump shot, as we said. He can do it all. He also has terrific penetration and dishing. He hits a wide open man for a 3. That's just good point guard basketball.
Jeremy Hill stepping out for 3, and then Hale did it again, but he got 2 quick fouls, and he was gone after 8 minutes.
Well, we said that was going to be a big moment in the first half when he had to go sit, and it was. But Old Dominion's defense picked up a little. It was energized by some of their freshmen making big plays, just like that with Palmore.
Keenan Palmore, and then you're waiting to see who's going to hit a 3, and it was Dimitri Batten.
Well, Dimitri Batten did, and they hit it, and then, of course, Baco got involved, but this play right here, you can hear this out on Hampton Boulevard because this was some dunk.
Richard Ross, the Wichita Falls, Texas native, loved that one as he sent that one all the way down to San Antonio and beyond. Monarchs took a 1-point lead, but at the intermission, they trailed by 3, but I'm sure Blaine Taylor is pleased about that. You look at some of the numbers here, 51% shooting for the Roadrunners, just 40 for the Monarchs.
Well, that's definitely, I think it had a lot to do with shot selection. They did not take good shots.
Bench points, 19-0 for the Monarchs, and they finished the half on a 21-12 run, and it all means that we've done a good ratings thing here, Charlie, because I have a feeling people are going to stick around because the second half is going to be a doozy.
Well, I'm not sure they can go home for about the last 30 seconds of this one because it's going to be a tight ball game. Both teams are battling hard. The Monarchs are learning how that they've got to play every possession all out. When they do that, they're going to be a real good basketball team.
If you're Brooks Thompson in the Roadrunner locker room, what are you telling your UTSA team?
Well, I know he won't tell them this, but he doesn't want Hale to pick up a 3rd and 4th foul, that's for sure, because he means so much to the team. But they started this game well. They executed their offense well. They changed defenses, which bothered the Monarchs a little early, and I'm sure that's what he'll want to come back to do in the second half.
UTSA, the Roadrunners from San Antonio, leading Old Dominion's Monarchs from here in Norfolk, 40-37. Second half coming up, live from the Constant Center here in Tidewater, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilder, head football coach at ODU. On and off the field, life's moving fast, and I can't afford to miss a minute. Poor vision was holding me back from the things I love. So, I decided to make a change. Thanks to Dr. Scoper, the physicians, and the entire staff at Virginia Eye Consultants, I now have perfect vision and couldn't be happier.
Virginia Eye Consultants, leaders in world-class specialty eye care, and a proud sponsor of ODU football and Coach Wilder's New Vision.
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
We take the complexity out of the process and give you an answer quickly.
I'm honored to have helped so many military families in achieving their dream of home ownership.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage lender.
Our solution, treating cancer, healing wounds, and preventing disease by using bioelectric technologies.
Our R&D contributes nearly $1 billion annually to the regional economy, enhancing the growth and vitality of our state and our nation.
Our solution.
Idea Fusion, Old Dominion University.
The Constant Center buzzing a little bit louder than it was at the beginning of this contest. Ted Alexander, Charlie Woolham here watching UTSA and Old Dominion University. Nothing like getting the band involved, the crowd involved, your bench involved. A couple of defensive plays will do that for you.
It sure did, and it did very well the first half when that dunk. Ross had that dunk. This crowd really got into the basketball game, and I think it really energized the Monarchs, and that's one of the reasons they made this comeback.
When you think about 3 games in 3 days, let's go back to that topic. Who's going to get tired? Who has the legs, and when do you think would the legs go?
Well, you know, the interesting part of this, number one, they're young.
That's what everybody says. They're young. Come on, they can do this.
But the other thing is both teams have pretty good depth. They play 8 or 9 guys, and they're playing them pretty equally. Each team has guys that are important to them, and they're getting more minutes. But I think both teams being young, having good depth, I don't expect them really to get tired down the stretch.
Monarchs next play next Saturday at Cleveland State. The Roadrunners next play at home. They're going to finally get a home game, UTSA. They'll take on USC Upstate also next Saturday. Blaine Taylor and his bunch, what do you think he was telling them over there in the locker room?
Well, I think number one, he's trying to play off that intensity level they got into. He wants these guys to come out here and play every possession like they were playing at the end of the half and not take possessions off. And I think that's what hurt him. I also think he probably brought up shot selection because I think it was not very good at times during the first half. But all in all, being as young as they are, I think he's probably pretty proud of the way they came back after being down.
We mentioned the Monarch bench outscoring UTSA's 19-0. The ODU bench played 40 minutes of the first 100. The UTSA bench played 29 minutes. So put that in your stat basket and spin it around and see what comes out.
Well, if getting fatigue is any part of this victory, it could affect UTSA more than it does the Monarchs.
Old Dominion, if you're just joining us, wearing the home white uniforms with the slate blue and light blue trim. They'll move right to left towards the world's largest naval base. UTSA wearing the blue with the orange and white trim, moving from left to right toward downtown Norfolk. I'm glad to have you along for second half action, the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Monarchs down as many as 14 in the first half, begin this second 20, trailing by 3. Batten and Bako, a couple of Peninsula high school players. Here's Dimitri for 3. Nope, Ross is there. Layup, no, missed it. Couldn't get it back. Tipped around. Finally chasing it down is Jordan Sims.
You got to make that, but I think the fact he's got that thing on his hand probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, the old ball and chain kept that layup from going in. This is Wilkins working against Deshaun Painter. Smaller but strong, going up and getting fouled by Painter, and that'll be his second personal foul.
They say when you have a wide body like that, it makes up for 2 to 3 inches, and he's doing that. You know, I think like Charles Barkley, man. When he got low post position, there wasn't moving him out. This young man is very much the same, very strong.
Painter's third personal foul, and Sims' first trip to the foul line. Hits that one. His first foul shot of the season goes through, and he's got 7 points, and the lead is 4. Larson in for Painter now as Deshaun's picked up that third personal.
It amazes me Wilkins can play like this after having an Achilles tendon blown out last year. He has really done a job of rehabbing that leg.
Takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Sure does.
So it's a 5 points UTSA advantage. Roadrunners and trying to keep that lead, but Ross gets the nice dish from Palmore.
That's a great penetration move by Palmore. Good pass, good floor vision.
Richard Ross with a season-high 8 points tonight. And the Monarchs are back to within 3. This is Cannon Burge, who had 15 in the first half, taking Baycoat to the right baseline. Jump shot, though, is not going to go. Oh, getting hammered in the chops is Wilkins there, and Baycoat picks up the personal.
Tell you what, they're not in the same weight class.
No.
Those two. I don't think Wilkins moved on that situation.
Jeremy Hill will inbounds. Hill, Wilkins, Raj, Michael Hale, and Sims for the Roadrunners. This is Hale. Amongst the trees, he finds a lane toward 2.
Last night and today, he's been on the floor, and I mean literally on the floor as much as he's been standing up.
It's a 44-39 UTSA lead. Larson from the right side, no good. Shot selection questions perhaps there as Burridge runs for the Roadrunners, kicks it toward the corner, but it's tipped out of bounds by Baycoat.
It's good transition defense by Bayco that time because the Roadrunners outnumbered them coming back down the floor.
Hill gets the ball into Wilkins, brings it back outside to Burridge. And against the man-to-man defense of Batten, he finds Hale in the corner, and that shot's off. Larson quickly hands off to Bayco. 3-on-2 if they hustle. Bayco left wing 3 for Batten. Hello.
Batten hit one in the first half. It was big. That one's very big right
there. 44-32 now. As things get off to an interesting start here in the second half. UTSA and Old Dominion. The 3-day, 3-game Liberty Tax Classic.
It'll be interesting to see what Hale does now. A lot of times players try to get back in the game too quick. He's got to fit himself in before he tries to make all the plays.
There he gets nudged by Palmore, and Palmore will be called for the personal foul. That'll be his first.
That's his first.
Here's an example of what you're talking about, Ted. Old Dominion is really doing some substituting here with probably the idea of maybe wearing these guys down because the big guys for the Roadrunners have been logged a lot of minutes to this point.
Well, the thing is also fatigue isn't only going to show up with a guy bent, doubled over, trying to catch his breath. It could be a half a step behind on defense. There's Hale, smashed by Dion Clark. And that of bounds.
And Hale's on the floor again.
On Friday, UTSA looked pretty crummy against Morgan State, made the Bears look good. Meanwhile, on Friday, Holy Cross made Old Dominion look pretty bad. Both teams looked much better yesterday. Drive to the hoop, layup, no good. Rebound batted back, and it's taken by Batten quickly to Clark.
All right, those layups that they missed right there could be some sign of a little fatigue.
Could get mental fatigue as well.
Because Hill has logged a lot of minutes to this point. He's a very tough player.
This is Dion Clark. And Batten fires another 3. That one's way off. Hill tries to chase after the air ball, but can't catch it before it goes over the end line. And the Roadrunners will retain possession.
Hill and Burridge played 20 minutes in there, so they both got a lot of minutes. And, of course, I'm sure that Hale would have been in there that long if he hadn't been in foul trouble. Those 3 guys are just essential to this basketball team.
Hill, a very athletic 6'8". After the fast start, and here he is down the low blocks, turning and scoring. Nice play from Jeremy Hill. He's got 11.
He's just a solid player. He does everything right. And as I say, his international experience is really helping.
The Aussie finds his way to the bucket here in Norfolk, Virginia. This is Dante Hill. Outside to Clarks. Quickly to Batten. Takes the 3. Takes it to the hole. All the way layup good.
Batten has been very aggressive offensively. Doing a good job for the Monarchs.
The lead remains 2 for the Roadrunners. Hale now goes to Wilkins, who leaves for the 3-point attempt of Sims, and it's no good. Batten with 2-on-3. Doesn't have the numbers, but he has Dion Clark, and the pass is behind him.
He had the pass in the right place, just a little too.
UTSA 46, Old Dominion 44. Roadrunners at one point had a 14-point lead, but thanks in part to the efforts of Dimitri Batten, the Monarchs have now pulled within 2, Charlie.
Well, I had him on several times this team last year, and every time I had him, he energized their team offensively, and he's done so tonight. That's a great example of hitting the open shot and using the pump fake to pull the defense towards you and to penetrate into the basket. Good job by Dimitri.
And when you hit that jump shot, you're going to create the guy getting closer to you so he can blow by him.
That's exactly right.
UTSA with the basketball. Sims Guarded by Clark, brings the ball out, and that's almost tipped away by Batten. Is that a front and back? No, because Dimitri got a piece of it. Extra defensive effort. Works against Old Dominion there. Batten doesn't like it. Here's a Burridge three. No, long rebound. Sims and Hale says, let's settle things down. Looks at Brooks Thompson, his coach, and says, fellas, we've got a 2-point advantage on the road. Let's work for something good. Which could be a deep Hale 3, who knows? Never a bad idea, getting the ball inside to Wilkins, kicks it outside. Here's a three, that's good. That one.
The difference in that, they did that after several passes. They moved the defense so you got the good open look. The time before, they just dribble it up and take a shot. That's not good.
Jordan Sims' three-pointer gives him 11 and gives the Roadrunners a 5-point lead. Here's Clark, kicks it back outside. Nick Wright, wide open three.
Very nice penetration, good floor vision, hitting the open man for three.
The redshirt senior's first pointer of the three-point variety, and it's a 2-point contest again. Man-to-man defense from Old Dominion. Burridge splits the two-man. Here's another three from Hale.
That's good ball movement right there for UTSA. They moved the ball, they made penetration, moved the ball, made the extra pass, and a wide open shot.
You can see a bunch of Monarchs lining up at the scores table, getting ready to come in as Hale picks Hill's pocket. Dante chased it down and out of bounds. It's last touch by ODU.
I tell you what, I would not put the ball on the floor easily around Hale because he's just too quick with the hands. If he's guarding you while you're dribbling in the backcourt, the best thing to do is give it to somebody else.
Kind of like hockey line changes. 3 Monarchs go out, 3 more Monarchs come back in.
Yeah, it's a good point you made earlier. The bench scoring right now is about 26-0. The production that UTSA has gotten is very little from the bench. It could mean fatigue down the stretch.
Off the bench is Haji Thomas for UTSA. We've got a whistle against the Roadrunners. Off the ball. And that foul is going to be called on Edrico McGregor.
UTSA's number 20, Edrico McGregor.
That's his third. McGregor, a 6'7" junior from Nassau in the Bahamas. Look at those bench points. Without those, where would we be, Charlie?
Well, I tell you what, it's meant a lot. They've come from basically 3 guys.
Baycoat and Batten and Ross. This is Nick Wright turning, thinking about another three. Instead he goes to Painter and he's fouled from behind. And that'll be number 4 on McGregor.
And he's probably been the most active of all their bench players to this point, so they're going to miss him.
And he will head to Brooks Thompson's bench right now in favor of Larry Wilkins, who comes in again fatigued.
Well, they've used him to give Wilkins a blow out there because at 6'4", he's got a yeoman's job to do.
Baycoat to right, he's fouled by Jeremy Hill. That'll be Hill's first personal foul. Hill gets shaken up a bit. Looks like when he went up and made contact, Wright also made a little contact with him.
He got the worst of that, but Old Dominion did an excellent job of running that out-of-bounds play. He just came from the blind side over there, and he was late getting there.
Not really see whether the contact came from Hill or someone else, but the bottom line is Jeremy's okay.
Well, Hill was just late getting there, and I think Monarchs did a good job of execution on that out-of-bounds play.
Nick Wright with 3 points, a couple of boards, and a foul shot there, and he brings the Monarchs to within 4. Here's the second foul shot from Wright from nearby Suffolk, Virginia. That one's good. So he's 2 for 2 from the line, 5 points total, and we've got ourselves a 3-point contest. Still plenty of time to play here in Norfolk in the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Thomas, in a battle of twos, gets past Baycoat, picks the ball, picked off by Palmore. That's some good Monarch defense.
That's good help defense, team defense right there.
Baycoat stops and starts. Working against Sims, brings it back outside, and who's going to chase it down? That's Hale. Hale against Palmore, stopping, laying it up, and cashing in. Extra effort from Michael Hale, and he's got 15.
And he is a good example of how smart a basketball player. He used the pump fake, ball fake, got the man in the air, and was an easy layup for him. And he gave away probably 4 inches to the defender.
Blaine Taylor calls for a 30-second timeout right there. They'll turn it to a full chess match. Continues in Norfolk with UTSA leading the Monarchs of Old Dominion 54-49. Charlie, we'll almost have a look at the way the Roadrunners got their lead back up to 5 points.
Well, they're hitting the open man who has good looks at the basket for threes. It's a great example right here. Move the ball to the open man, that extra pass, he's wide open, he buries it.
A lot easier to hit shots when you don't have someone's hand on your face, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You see the three-point field goals. Roadrunners 9 for 20. Monarchs 5 for 10. Here comes Palmore. We've got a whistle down low. Blocking foul called on Wilkins, and that'll be his second. Excuse me, third.
Both of the post players, and I mean, it's kind of interesting because Hill's the biggest, but he doesn't really stay in the post. The two other boys that have, the two other players that have played in the post so far, Wilkins and McGregor, they're both in foul trouble right now, and that could be dangerous for the Roadrunners.
Baycoat. Hey, no one's guarding me. I'll fire it. Rims the basket. No. Painter, no. Rebound put up by Wright. No. Finally, up, no. Painter and Hill battle for it. Jeremy comes up with it. Monarchs with an opportunity, but couldn't finish at the 10. And here's Hale, the senior. Left-hand pass to Hill. Blocked by Nick Wright. Here comes Palmore. Headman pass. Baycoat. Layup. Good.
Great execution of the fast break right that time. Good job, Palmore, finding the open man.
Oh, the block at one end, the finish at the other, and the lead now is just 3 for UTSA. This is Sims. Monarchs with 3 block shots, 2 by Wright. This is Hale to the foul line. Back to Thomas. It's a pick from Wilkins. Thomas almost loses the dribble, decides to get it to Hale, and let's go. 5 on the shot clock. Hale stops, pops. No, that one's off, but getting the rebound and then getting fouled. We've got a shot clock because that three-pointer didn't hit anything. So the Monarch defense holds right there, and we've got ourselves 11:46 to play. UTSA 54, Old Dominion 51. Monarchs turning defense into offense in a dramatic way. Take a look at this, Coach Willem.
This was a great play by both teams. Good pass off block and roll, but an even better play blocking the shot.
Little pinpoint accuracy on the pass from Palmore to Bako right there, and Painter didn't put his paw up to interrupt things. Good stuff. And it's just the first weekend. Meanwhile, Baco's being led back to the training room by athletic trainer Jason Mitchell. He's going to get on the bike. He's got, I think, a tight hamstring.
Palmore is amazing. When he has plays to make, he makes it easy. He makes a very easy pass and makes it easy on the guy receiving the ball.
Here the freshman hands off to Hill. Right wing, this is Deion Clark. That one's no good, but he burrows to get the rebound and put it back in. Clark, his first field goal is of the dramatic variety.
Well, I tell you what, Blaine Taylor has always had a great offensive rebounding team. They're one of the best in the nation right now. I think they've got 15 offensive rebounds out here tonight.
This is Hale. Burridge, 15 first half points, nothing in the second for 22 in blue. This is Hill. Burrows from the blocks, kicks it back outside. Hale says, what the Hale, and he buries a 3.
I tell you what, he is a fun player to watch.
Has the opening, obviously has the green light from his coach, Brooks Thompson, and banged another 3. He's got 18 points to lead all scorers. Burridge with 15, all came in the first half. And what do you think Coach Thompson's saying now?
I tell you what, too, Hale set out half of the first half, too, so he's having quite a game.
Let's have another look at this opportunity for the 5'9" JUCO transfer.
Well, that's an NBA 3 right there.
And at the other end, you've got Deion Clark finding his way to his own missed shot and then taking it to the hole.
That's a great example of just not giving up on a play. You miss a shot, you go after the rebound, get it back. But again, another indication of how good Blaine Taylor's players are rebounding the offensive rebounds.
So it's Hill and Burridge and Thomas and Wilkins and Hale for UTSA. Deion Clark, Palmore, Ross, Hill, and Nick Wright for Old Dominion. 4-point advantage. You see the 3-point field goals, 10 for 22 for the visitors from San Antonio. Old Dominion 5 for 12 from beyond the arc. Still plenty of time to stir the soup here in Norfolk. This is Nick Wright. Gets it to Clark. Just hit his first field goal a moment ago, his second effort. Now he's got himself in a jam. Gets double teamed, gets the ball to Palomore. 15 to shoot for Old Dominion. Crosses over on Burge, takes it to the hole, dishes off to Ross, who's blocked from behind. Layup, Ross, no, and Hale comes down with a board for UTSA. I'll put that one on the cast. Oh, look at Hale all the way, runner good!
That is not going to please Blaine Taylor right there. A little guy taking the ball all the way to the rack in transition.
Monarchs perhaps pouting after missing the layup at one end and giving up a bunny at the other. Here Ross is fouled.
I think that may be on Wilkins' fourth foul.
Foul is charged to UTSA number 3.
That's his fourth foul. You're right, Charlie. Take a look at this. The block from behind, wonderfully by the 5'9" Hale.
I tell you, that's a big foul for Wilkins for UTSA.
Hale at 5'9", comes from behind, blocks Ross's dunk attempt, and then gets the layup at the other end. You talked about this guy up the top, Charlie. What a player.
He certainly is, but you got to stop the ball handler in transition. You can't let him take it all the way to the rack.
Hale has scored the last 10 Roadrunner points.
Their coach has full confidence in him, too. It's very obvious out there. He is his coach on the floor because he makes a lot of decisions out there. Thus far, most of them have been right.
For Brooks Thompson, you have to say, glad number 11 is playing for me.
We'll see, right? It's the about 10-minute mark, and Wilkins picked up his fourth foul. We'll see how important that's going to be.
You see Hale's making hay from beyond the arc as well, 4 for 6 from three-point land. 10-14 to go as they wipe up the perspiration off the floor here at the TED. 59-53, UTSA leads Old Dominion. Just tuning in, welcome to Day 3 of the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Ted Alexander, Charlie Woolham courtside. UTSA led by as many as 14 in the first half. Monarchs crept back in, took a 1-point lead, but trailed by 3 at the intermission. And the lead stayed right around there for the second half. Now it's a 6-point advantage. Baycoat to Painter. Been a little quiet since the intermission. Back to Batten. Here's a 3 from Dimitri. Hits nothing. He's either hitting the shot or hitting Zippo. That one goes out of bounds. Last touch by UTSA.
I tell you what, McGregor isn't taking it easy out there, even though he is in foul trouble.
Midway points of the second half. A 3-point advantage has been doubled by the Roadrunners. Monarchs looking to carve into it. Here's Baycoat with a big pick from Painter, and they call Deshaun for a foul.
I tell you, all he had to do was hold it still and not put that arm out there. And when you do that, they're going to call it every time. You cannot extend that elbow out on these screens.
Fourth personal foul on Painter. You make the call here, Baycoat and Hale. Yet you see that forearm.
You can't use the forearm or the elbow out there when you set that screen. You got to use your body.
Painter came in averaging 12 points a game, have 6 today, all in the first half. Hill now, working a little weave out top to Burridge. He's been quiet in the second half and a whistle down low.
They're going to get him again. They've got to stand still when they set these screens. I was sort of blocked off from that one, but it's...
They're going to call that one on I.G. Thomas. That'll be his second personal foul.
By December, all these guys will know how to set a screen.
This is only the third day of the season. I will give you that. There you see the turnover totals. 12-10 in a category you don't want to lead. Here's Ross to the paint, left-handed. No. And there's the 5'9" Hale with a rebound, and he's leading the break for UTSA between his legs. And then Burridge fires the 3 that's short.
Well, their jumpers look a little bit short. That may be some indication that some of those guys are getting a little tired out.
Third game in 3 days. Batten to the hole. Over Hale. It's good and it counts. Oh, look at Batten. Go upstairs and get the harm.
That's number 3 on Hale also.
Basket is good.
Batten has 10 points. We'll have another look at this. Look at Batten go baseline at 6'4", a huge height advantage over Hale, and they say Michael did not have position there.
Well, what you got to have that position before the man leaves the ground, and that's what a lot of these youngsters don't understand. They think if he get hit in the chest, it's an automatic charge. They have got to be there when the man leaves the floor.
Dimitri Batten
First
with 1 shot.
trip to the foul line of the afternoon for Dimitri Batten. And he hits it. 3-point play for Batten. He's got 11, and it's a 59-56 basketball game. 9:14 to go. It's been this type of working margin since the intermission for UTSA. There's Burridge, no good. Tapped up, Hill, no. Rebound right.
Not a good shot either. I think it's just too quick to be jacking threes like that.
Here's Aaron Baycoat, crosses over. Burridge goes down, and the steal comes up to Sims. Meanwhile, there's Hale, again amongst the trees. Wide open for three is Hill, and he buries it.
That's a good-looking three right there. You wait for the shot to develop. Don't try to force it for the three-point line.
His second three-pointer. He's got 14 points, and the lead is back to 6 at 62-56. 30-second timeout called by ODU. Let's have another look at that last play. Again, it's defense turning into offense for UTSA. And you see Hale to the hole. Didn't have it. Kicked it to the corner. Nobody near Jeremy Hill. Shot that one from Adelaide, and the Aussie canned the three.
Some way we should be able to give Hale at least a half a point from that. That's a great assist. Drew both defenders to him, leaving his teammate wide open for the open three.
UTSA 11 threes. Thus far this season, they've averaged 12 per contest. Again, they were beaten by Morgan State on Friday, defeated Holy Cross yesterday. Holy Cross beat Old Dominion on Friday, then the Monarchs beat Morgan State yesterday. So everybody's beating up on everybody in this Liberty Tax Classic. The other two teams, the Crusaders of Holy Cross and the Bears of Morgan State. Everybody came into this Sunday's action, Charlie, 1-1.
I thought all the teams I've seen are very good teams, and I think will get better as the season goes on.
Nice to have an event where everybody gets to taste victory, especially at the start of the season.
Absolutely.
All right, Bayco working against Hale, finds Dante Hill. Burridge, the defensive matchup. Batten saves the pass, double pumps, off glass, no. Hill the board. Now Hale usually makes a very good decision. Gives it to Hill, one bounce down low. What a nice athletic play. And finishing is Enrico McGregor. I believe those are the first bench points of the night for the Roadrunners.
And I tell you, Hill made a great pass out of that also. He's a very fundamentally sound basketball player.
A lot of players would have just kept that ball and gone up.
Right, either run over somebody or gone up with it.
Here's Dante Hill, tipped up by Ross to the poor paw.
We're seeing some great efforts out of some of these young men out here tonight.
The lead is 6. For UTSA, you're thinking maybe knockout punch here in the next couple of possessions. 7:43 to go. Going to take a break. Have the Roadrunners got an advantage that they can hold on to? We'll find out from the Teds in a moment.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilder, head football coach at ODU. On and off the field, life's moving fast, and I can't afford to miss a minute. Poor vision was holding me back from the things I love. So, I decided to make a change. Thanks to Dr. Scoper, the physicians, and the entire staff at Virginia Eye Consultants, I now have perfect vision and couldn't be happier.
Virginia Eye Consultants, leaders in world-class specialty eye care, and a proud sponsor of ODU football and Coach Wilder's New Vision.
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
We take the complexity out of the process and give you an answer quickly.
I'm honored to have helped so many military families in achieving their dream of home ownership.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage.
UTSA leads Old Dominion 64-58, 7:43 to go. The biggest reason the Roadrunners have this 6-point advantage? Well, perhaps the 5'9" junior, the smallest guy on the floor, is making the biggest impact.
Absolutely. I tell you, he's only going to spend 1 year in the WAC, but if he doesn't make first team all WAC, I'll be surprised. The youngster does everything. He never quits working out there. He's a coach on the floor, and he knows how to play the game of basketball.
And you know he's the kind of guy that hates hearing people talk about his height because he's not a 5'9" guy. He's a basketball player making plays.
I said his heart's the size of his chest, and he's shown that out here today.
6-point lead possession for UTSA. Dicey moment of the game if you're a Monarch fan. Especially when Hale has the ball in his hand. This is Burridge. 15 in the first, nothing in the second. Here he crosses over Clark, gets to the elbow, and travels.
That's a good call, though. Good call. He drugged the foot when he was.
Ross, Palmore, Hill, Clark, and Painter with the 4 fouls for Old Dominion. Monarchs trailing by 6. Palmore to Clark. Guarded tightly by Sims. Dion spins the foul line and runs into a couple of brick walls, decides to reset things.
McGregor's going to get another one out there if he's not careful.
High post, this is Richard Ross. 8 to shoot for Old Dominion, and Ross didn't put the ball on the deck. Turnover for the Monarchs. 13 turnovers thus far for UTSA. Monarchs have 12. So a tight ball game in terms of turnovers. Perhaps a fairly clean game if you look at only the 3rd game of the season in as many days. But again, that 6-point advantage. Sims, McGregor, and Burridge will set things up. Look over at his coach. Brooks Thompson barks out some instructions. Get the ball to Hale, and that's a foul called on Palmore.
You don't want to commit fouls like that. You got him down in the shot clock. You don't want to put him on the line and stop giving him on the shot clock.
Take another look here. Palmore not really getting his money's worth with that foul right there, but with the ball going into the backcourts, almost the referee had to call something, and it had to be a foul.
I don't think he had any choice.
While I have a moment, women's field hockey NCAA tournament down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina defeats Old Dominion 3-1. Lady Monarchs beat Michigan yesterday to get to this point. UNC defeated Stanford. So the 30-year Hall of Fame career of Beth Anders comes to a close in another NCAA tournament. Congratulations to Coach Anders. 9 national championships for field hockey here at Old Dominion. Coach Anders, you will be missed. Meanwhile, another foul against the Monarchs.
Yeah, Palmore got another foul. And as he plays more and more, he'll realize his importance to this basketball team. He can't afford to get himself in foul trouble.
Hale hits the foul shot, the first. He's got 21, and the lead is now 7. Lane Taylor, you can understand the concern on the coach's face with the senior Hale in complete control of the contest. That one's good. He's got 22, came in averaging 16, so he's delivered his end of the bargain.
Now those 2 fouls in one possession has put UTSA in the bonus, too. They're shooting 1-and-1s all the rest of the way.
Hill to the hole, no, but he's fouled.
UTSA foul, jersey number 12, Jeremy Hill.
Going to go on Jeremy Hill. That'll be his 2nd personal foul, and Dante Hill will go to the stripe for 2. When it comes to free throws, Monarchs came in averaging 56 from the line, much better than that this afternoon. 13 for 17, make that 14 for 18.
I think it's a good shooting bunch. I think that first night was sort of an aberration out there. I don't think they shot the ball nearly as well as they're capable of.
It's always interesting to watch teams in November and then think back to these contests when you're in February, March.
We're in November. That's a key word. I can remember when basketball didn't start till December. Now we got games on the 9th of November.
Hill makes good on both to pull the Monarchs to within 6. Both these teams above their season average point-wise. Monarchs average 58.5. Roadrunners 59.5. Both have eclipsed that, so we still got 6 minutes to play. Here's Hill's snap pass deflected by Nick Wright, stolen by Hill. Dante with Clark to his left. Here's Dion, reverse layup, no!
He made that shot harder than it should be, and as a youngster, he'll learn. You got to take that up on the strong side and
Let's have another look at a nice particular play. Dante Hill knew
very
he
nice
had,
play right there on the strong side. He had a 5'9" guy in his way. Instead, he went to the weak side of the hole and made it about twice as difficult a shot.
had to extend there also,
Absolutely.
and he didn't have enough altitude to complete that.
And he's
vision.
a good enough athlete that he would have gone over.
When you talk about foul trouble as we go down the stretch here, Charlie, 5:54 to go. McGregor, Wilkins, 4 personal fouls for UTSA. Deshaun Painter, 4 fouls for Old Dominion. Something to keep an eye on.
I've been watching it, and neither team post players are backing off. All those guys with 4 fouls are really going after it down in the low post area.
So coming back for Blaine Taylor's Monarchs, Painter, Hill, Palmore, Clark, and Wright. For Brooks Thompson's Roadrunners, Hill and Burridge and Hale and Sims and McGregor. Full court pressure from Old Dominion. They get the ball into McGregor. And they'll call off the Dogs a bit.
And he's going to run the show now, and I expect them to be a little bit more patient at the offensive end now. They're not going to take quick shots.
Bleed that clock a bit. Here's the good passing, Jeremy Hill to Michael Hale III. Seven on the shot clock. Hale spins past Palmore, kicks it back outside. Burridge. Oh, that's a killer.
That's another assist for the little guy, too. I'm telling you. And I apologize for calling him a little guy. On the basketball court, he's anything but.
Large and in charge here on this Sunday afternoon in Norfolk. 69-60, Roadrunners. Palmore takes the long road, misses it, but there's the tip by Nick Wright. Under 5 to play here in the Liberty Tax Classic. Burridge, Hill, and Hale. There we go, back to Jeremy, plows over Palmore. Palmore looking for steps, and that's what they call. It'll be a turnover for UTSA.
You know, a little overlooked fundamental of basketball is footwork, and I'm telling you, to watch Hale's footwork out there as small as he is amazing. He never gets himself in a position where he's out off balance. Terrific balance out there on the floor.
Every possession becoming precious for Old Dominion, down 7 with 4.5 to play. Here's Hill, baseline move, double pumper, no, can't hit the layup. Gets his own rebound though, it's on the floor, it's a scrum. Out of bounds, blue ball, we hear the referee say, and it'll go UTSA's way.
Well, the intensity level this half is doubled over the first half. Both teams have gone at it terrifically. Many effort plays. They're playing good, hard basketball right now.
Full court pressure for Old Dominion, looking to get some defense into offensive stuff. They get the ball to Hale. The security blanket finds his way to the foul line. Stop and pop, and that's good.
Believe me, ladies and gentlemen out there, that's not an easy shot.
No.
I'm telling you, that little teardrop.
But it might bring tears to Monarch Nation as the lead's 9 again with 4 minutes to play.
Remember Eric Maynard at VCU, he was the master of it.
Here's Batten for 3. Nope. Rebound. Ross had a half a hand on it, but he only has a half a hand. Here comes Hill. That cast working against Ross there. Doing his darndest to clear the carom, but couldn't. Boy, at the end of the half, doesn't the clock seem to spin faster when you're down? Burridge guarded by Wright. Batten goes for the steal, ends up at a wide open 3 attempt from Hale. It's no good. Hill, the touch pass for McGregor out of bounds. Got a little creative over there, but it didn't happen. Turnover UTSA. Possession TSA. The Roadrunners out of the Western Athletic Conference lead the CAA's Old Dominion University Monarchs 71-62. 3:26 to play here at the Constant Center in Norfolk. You talk about UTSA, Charlie Willem, and they're executing at crunch time thanks to Mr. Hale and Mr. Burridge.
They've got 3 veterans on that team who really can play, and they've been definitely the outstanding players this game for UTSA. I think they got about 56 of their 71 points.
Michael Hale III has 24, and the Monarchs are going to get a foul call against UTSA.
That's going to be number 5, I think, on McGregor, too.
He and Deshaun Painter tangled up on the blocks. And that should be number 5, which is on McGregor.
UTSA number 20, Rico McGregor, that's his 5th.
And Wilkins will come off Brooks Thompson's bench to re-enter the fray.
I think McGregor's going to be a good player for Coach Thompson's team before the year goes. He's a hard-working young man. His skill level will get better as he goes, and he's going to be a good player for this team.
Deshaun Painter, 1-1. We'll see if he can cash in. He's got 6 points, none in the second half. First one, no. Misses the front end. 3 points waiting out there with the clock stopped, and when you're down 9 at crunch time, got to take advantage. Monarchs didn't right there, and UTSA is looking to build on a 9-point lead.
They're not going to be in any hurry now either, Tim.
Works the umbrella here and get the ball to Hale when things start getting dicey against Palmore. Painter flashes out. Keep in mind he's playing with 4 fouls. Hale again with 5 to shoot. Up and under move from Hale. Oh my goodness.
You don't ever leave the man with the ball. They just went off and left him.
11-point lead now, UTSA. Led by 14 in the first half, but that was the first half. Ross, runner with the right hand, no, and a charge is called.
That time he was there, and it was a good call.
Sometimes those plays, Charlie, look like they're out of control, too. And when you look out of control,
they're going to call it.
You're going to get whistled. And here's Ross trying to make something happen, but 5'9" Hale stood his ground and took a decking, but got the call.
Showed another one of his talents out there, right there, at the defensive end. That's called taking the blow for victory.
2:26 to play. Double-digit advantage for UTSA. Remember, these two teams next year will meet as members of Conference USA. And the rivalry has been born here at the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. Burridge into the front court.
These 3 veterans on this team are very smart basketball players. Hale, and Burgess. All 3 know how to play the game.
As we head under 2 minutes, Burridge takes Dante Hill to the hole. Layup no good. Dante's got the rebound and a foul is called. Michael Hale III. All hail Michael. 7 for 11 from the field in this half. And remember, it's when he picked up his second foul after scoring 8 quick points in the first half, Charlie. That's when the Monarchs got back in the game.
That was not a good play by Burridge that time. You don't want to stop the clock and let them have an opportunity to score. Fouls, put them on the line with no time running off. That's the best way for the Monarchs to get back in this game.
Michael Hale has tied his career high with 26 points a year ago. Scored that many at Oklahoma State. Dante Hill hits the first of 2 foul shots, gets the second one now. He's got 8 points. Aaron Baycoat has 12 for Old Dominion. Dimitri Batten 11. Richard Ross 10 off the bench. Dante Hill with 8. Nick Wright with 7. Deshaun Painter 6. Second foul shot rattles out. Rebound comes down to Jordan Sims of UTSA.
They're going to try to take the little fella out of the game, and they...
Bayco to the hole, and he's fouled. Again, Sims looking to draw the charge. Didn't happen.
That's good effort by the Monarchs that time.
26 for Michael Hale III, 18 for Cannon Burridge, 14 for Jeremy Hill, 11 for Jordan Sims. 2 for Larry Wilkins, 2 for Enrico McGregor, and that's all the scoring for UTSA. They lead by 10 with 1:49 to go. First one, no good for Bayco.
Palmore is doing a good job of keeping the ball out of Hale's hands. The other players got to step up and take over for him, get the ball, and let him backdoor it down the floor and get open.
Monarchs 17 for 24 from the line as Bayco scores his 13th point. 73-64. Full court pressure. Try and cause the turnover. Get some cheapies.
This is what they got to do. They got to.
Oh, and there's a cheapie off the hands of Jordan Sims and out of bounds. Took his eye off the ball.
Great job of the Monarchs denying the inbounds pass.
18th turnover forced by the Monarch defense. Now can they cash in?
They've got it. That's exactly what they got to do. They got to score or they got to get to the line and make their foul shots.
And they've got to do it rather quickly. Here's Dante Hill. Hill down the right-hand side takes Hale to the hole. And that's going to be
number 4.
Number 4 on Michael Hale. And again, double bonus time. 2 shots for Dante Hill. Went 1 for 2 from the line his last trip. Let's take a look at this foul.
Dante Hill with 2 shots.
Hill 6 for 8 from the foul line. The left-hander, we'll see if he can improve that. First one, yes.
It's the quickest way for the Monarchs to get back in this thing is to get to the foul line because the clock will not move.
One more for Dante Hill, junior from Virginia Beach. The Monarch captains hits the second. And he hits the deck with his 10th point, 1:42 to go.
Coach Thompson getting the big fella off the floor. He does not want him to pick up his 5th foul because they really lose size at that point.
Full court pressure. They get the ball into Burge. Burge double teamed in the corner in front of the Monarch bench and a whistle. Timeout called by Brooks Thompson, who saw his player in trouble and called for time.
You don't want to throw that ball down on the baseline because then the out-of-bounds line acts as another defender. It's like you're being triple teamed down there instead of double teamed.
And when you bring the double team over, it's like turning up the defensive vice, especially at crunch time.
Well, along with the fact that they made that double team with big guys that can't see out of the traffic.
If you've ever tried to simulate that, go stand in the forest next to a couple of trees and try and get the ball back to the playground. It's not going to be very easy for you.
What they need to do is try to be in a position to accept that inbounds pass farther up the floor so they got more room to move. And of course, they've really taken Hale out of the situation because they've done a good job of denying that pass.
You saw the 12 team fouls on UTSA. It means the Monarchs will shoot 2 every time they get fouled. 18 fouls on Old Dominion, still be a 1-and-1.
What people do here, a lot of teams will run somebody out and see if they can get somebody open on the long pass. Plus, they'll take a defender out of the picture when they do that.
Holy Cross did it at the end of the first game of the season against Old Dominion on Friday. Got a foul out of the deal. Here they get it into Burge. The ball poked away. Who's going to come up with it? Jeremy Hill quickly to Michael Hale III. Driving the break. Oh, the layoff to Sims who misses the layup and out of bounds. That's last touch by Sims.
Now the Monarchs are doing a great job. Their intensity level is high. They're denying passes and they're getting back on defense. Good job for Old Dominion.
Hale again made a good decision dropping the ball off to Jordan Sims, but he couldn't finish. The Monarchs, with 85 seconds to go, are down by 7. Into the corner, Palmore back to Baycoat. Baycoat drives to the hole, layup is good. Aaron Baycoat has 15, and it's 73-68.
They're going to warn Old Dominion to leave the ball alone there, I'm sure.
Rather quiet here in the Ted. They're giving the warning to Nick Wright, I believe, to leave the ball alone.
You can't pick it up because you keep them from bringing a quick inbound pass in.
And again, if you're going to set up your press, you don't want them to inbound it quickly. 30-second timeout has been called by Old Dominion. I believe that is their final 30-second timeout. Got a full left. All right, Coach Woolham.
We said it was going to go down the last minute, and it has.
1:09 to go, 73-68. Take us into each other.
I tell you what, Old Dominion, they're going to continue doing what they've been doing. They're going to deny the inbounds pass. I think they'll play solid D. I don't think they're going to start fouling right away. They don't need to. It's only a 5-point difference with over a minute to play. I think it's important that Coach Thompson gets these guys to try not to throw the ball in the corner because they're killing themselves. They're getting in that double team. They can't see to get it out. And it's going to get physical down there. They've got to be strong with the basketball.
Physical play means fouls. Fouls mean foul shots. Old Dominion 19 for 26 from the line this afternoon. The Roadrunners are 7 for 8 from the charity stripe.
The only play I've seen that I would change that Hale did, I would pull that ball back out and not try to score down there. Just run the clock. The clock right now is what they need running.
But he'd answer, it was a 3-on-1. Yep. We had a good look. And a foul on Baycoat against High G. Thomas right there.
Well, And, you know, in truth, he didn't have to foul, and I'm not so sure he didn't step on the out-of-bounds line right after he got fouled, so he might have been forced out.
That's why Coach Taylor is having a chat with his freshmen. How difficult is it for people to be patient, fans to be patient with teams that have so many new faces, especially freshmen?
Well, you know, I think both the fans of UTSA and the Monarch fans need to be, and I think it will pay rewards because both these teams are going to get better and better as the year goes on. I think they're pretty good right now. They're certainly giving a good physical effort this afternoon. They cut out their mistakes. They're going to be good basketball teams.
I.G. Thomas, his first foul shot of the day is good, and his second one isn't. So he goes 1 for 2 from the line. It's a 74-68 contest, 62 seconds to go.
1 minute remaining.
2-possession game, ball out of bounds. The thing is, with it being a 2-possession game, you cash in a 3, you play good defense.
It wouldn't shock me to see him change the defense here a little bit. I'm not sure, but we're staying with their man.
Hill stops and pops a 3. That one's no good. Long rebound. Comes down and fouling Sims is Bako. And Jordan Sims will walk to the other end and take his first foul shot. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
The Monarchs have been very successful, Ted, taking the ball to the rack and drawing fouls. I don't know that they need to start jacking the threes just yet.
I realize it's daytime, but you come into an arena here, Charlie, and it's pretty dark. But that's why I keep saying tonight.
Oh, I've said it about 10 times, so you're not alone.
Here's Sims. That's his first miss of the season from the foul line. He'll get one more. Got 11 points, the 6'4 junior from El Mirage, Arizona.
This is an important free throw because it makes it a 3-possession game instead of 2.
53-3 on the clock. UTSA's led most of the way, had a 14-point advantage in the first half, led by 3 at the intermission. That one's no good. 0 for 2 for the line.
And this is a two-possession game, 2 threes.
We're back to where we were 10 seconds ago. Monarchs didn't hit the 3 then. What can they do this time? Dante Hill.
Now they got to get him for a walk. Yep.
Turnover ODU. That's their 14th. 43.8 to go. Do you have to foul now?
I think you're probably going to have to get after him. Yeah, I think you make a play, try to make a play on stealing the ball, and then you have to put him on the foul line.
He tried to foul him there, and Palmore finally gets whistled for that one on Michael Hale.
And that's the one guy I would not think they would want to foul.
It's funny how that's who they wanted to get the ball to, isn't
absolutely.
it? There is a method to this madness, isn't it?
I would imagine out of the people sitting in here, several thousand of them would think that ball should go to him, too. 4th foul on Keenan Palmore.
And
Michael Hale will try and set his career high. 26 points. Did you expect anything else? 27 now.
I have not seen that young man change expression from start to finish. Even when he gathered his second foul, he just kind of looked the same and went right straight to the bench.
10 for 14 from the field, and some of his shots have been high degree of difficulty. Here he makes 1 of 2 free throws. It's a 7-point lead, and Old Dominion has to make something happen quickly. Hill spins, kicks it to Batten. Batten fakes the 3, gets past Hill. A little floater, no good. Offside rebound comes to Palmore. He puts it up with the right hand for 2. And Blaine Taylor takes his final time out.
That's a good call by Blaine that time because they had the floor open down there and they were going to run off a lot of time on the clock.
What can playing in close games do for a young team early?
Well, I'm sure these coaches have prepared them for this, but I think obviously to win it can do a lot for them. Losing it is tough because if you lose too many games like that, it starts getting in your head. But the thing about both of these teams, they play so hard, I'm not sure that it will bother them as much as somebody that sort of backs off. Neither team has backed off in the last 3 minutes, and it has been all-out effort out of both of them.
40-37 Roadrunners of UTSA at the half. It's 75-70 now. 3 games in 3 days. It doesn't seem that fatigue has played a huge role here this afternoon.
No, I don't think so. I think both of these coaches have done a good job of preparing these teams endurance-wise, and they're ready to play basketball.
Brooks Thompson's done a nice job down there in San Antonio, hasn't he?
He sure has, and I think he had 3 basically returning players that played a lot for him. A couple other guys played some, but that's it. They have 9 new players on this basketball team, and I think when they get integrated into his system and playing with these guys, they're going to be a team to be watched in the WAC.
Michael Hale and Jeremy Hill played all 20 minutes of the second half, and they helped right the ship when the Monarchs were knocking on this lead's door.
They're going to run somebody out of this thing, I got a feel.
Hill to inbound, looking for Hale. Fakes, gets it to Hale in the corner. He splits the double team, maintains possession into the front court, and that's going to be a Dimitri Batten foul. Dimitri took a pop there from Hale.
Be interesting to know how many minutes Hale has been on the floor out here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. How many times they've had to clean the court burn off his backside.
He doesn't back off a lick, though. He comes right back.
And you know, you're talking about all the new faces for Brooks Thompson's club. Michael Hale III can make a lot of those new faces look rather familiar.
I tell you what, you and I could stand in the corners. He'd give us a couple shots, wouldn't he?
He's got a career-high 27 points today. He'll get 2 shots here. In comes Larry Wilkins. Talk about efficient. Hale with 28 points in 28 minutes.
This is a big foul shot here because it puts it in 3 possessions again.
There you go. 29 points, a career high for Michael Hale III, the senior. Under 20 seconds to play. Nick Wright will fire a 3 and miss it. Birds the rebound. He's fouled by Deion Clark. And this dress is in the San Antonio bag.
Number 15, Deion Clark, that's his first.
San Antonio is cheering this result, of course, as UTSA will go to 2-1 on the season. Monarchs will fall to 1-2.
But as we said earlier, 3 games and 3 nights. I think both of these teams have a lot to look forward to. They're both going to be good basketball teams.
Michael Hale, you saw 29 points in 28 minutes. He only played 8 minutes in the first half because of the foul trouble. And he's played all the way here in the second half and made his presence felt. 78-70. One more free throw for Cannon Burridge. And he's got himself 20 points. Dante Hill now. Window dressing time here, and Wright will fire a 3 and miss it all, and it'll go out of bounds. And with 5.5 seconds to go, looks like it'll be one more possession.
He's just going to hold.
Bring it to Hale, and that will do it from the Liberty Tax Classic presented by Athletes in Action. 29 points, a career high for Michael Hale, and Brooks Thompson's UTSA Roadrunners defeat Old Dominion by a final count of 79-70. Roadrunners now 2-1 in the young season. The Monarchs are 1-2. Back to the TED in a moment.
Chase down weeds and grass and beat the living mulch out of them. The Homescaper Series blower vac from Steel. Are you ready to quit playing with toys? Are you ready for a Steel?
When we opened our doors over a decade ago, our goals were simple: to provide superior customer service while taking the fear out of the mortgage process.
With my 23 years in the business, I'll be with you from start to finish.
I love working with a first-time home buyer. I like seeing them go from nervous and anxious to happy and excited.
And today, our goals remain the same. Give us a call. Let us help.
Tidewater Home Funding, your hometown mortgage lender.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilder, head football coach at ODU. On and off the field, life's moving fast, and I can't afford to miss a minute. Poor vision was holding me back from the things I love. So, I decided to make a change. Thanks to Dr. Scoper, the physicians, and the entire staff at Virginia Eye Consultants, I now have perfect vision and couldn't be happier.
Virginia Eye Consultants, leaders in world-class specialty eye care, and a proud sponsor of ODU football and Coach Wilder's New Vision.
Today's game is presented by the following Team Monarch partners: Pepsi, the official soft drink of ODU basketball. Pepsi, refresh everything. Cox Communications. Cox, your friend in the digital age. And by the Virginia Lottery. The Virginia Lottery, we're game. Today's game is also presented by Liberty Tax Service. Liberty Tax Service, making a difference in the tax preparation industry.
UTSA defeats Old Dominion here in the Liberty Tax Classic 79-70, thanks in large part to a career-high 29 points from Michael Hale III. Charlie Willem, your thoughts on this contest here today?
Well, I think both teams, for playing their third game in a row, gave a great effort out here. UTSA just outshot the Monarchs. Basically, that was the difference in the ball game. They shot 50% to the Monarchs 35, and they were led by just an outstanding point guard, one of the best I've seen in a long time.
Monarchs get 36 points off the bench, but it's not enough when Hale goes for 29 points. And despite, again, giving up a large rebounding advantage, UTSA prevails. They lost on Friday. They win on Saturday and Sunday. They up their record to 2-1. The Old Dominion University Monarchs fall to 1-2. Coming up next for Old Dominion, a trip to Cleveland State next Saturday. For the Roadrunners, it's a home game. They finally get back to San Antonio with a game against USC Upstate. For Charlie Willem, this is Ted Alexander saying good night or good afternoon from the Constant Center in Norfolk, where UTSA defeats Old Dominion 79-70.